Hey, I'm Christopher Janes, CTO and founder of Mersive. I'm going to take you through the Solstice Conference demo. We've got about 10 minutes, so I'm going to kind of go fast, but there's a lot to cover, and we're really excited about it because Solstice Conference is a better room system. Now, about 2 years ago, we were asked, can you take your expertise in collaboration and engagement when people come together in meetings and apply that to a really interesting problem set for video conferencing? So video conferencing has three main problems. One, if you want a video conferencing room, you usually have to vendor lock that room. That gives you this simple, one-touch start event, but it also means that if my employees want to have a Slack call or a WebEx call and they happen to be in a Zoom room, it just doesn't support their needs. That just can't happen. Two, we need to have this one-step start experience so that when I come into a space, all I have to do is one thing and it all just happens automatically. Otherwise, you're spending time doing build-up before the meeting and it's complicated and hard to get to what you actually want to get done. The other thing that's interesting is content has always been ignored by video conferencing systems in the sense that it's really limited to one piece of content. And even when you share content, you're sharing it through their cloud infrastructure, which means it's not as performant as it could be if you were just throwing content, for example, on the screen. What that implies actually is this side effect that when I have a proximate meeting, it's a very different user experience, like let's say I'm sharing content with Solstice, than if I'm having a call. I have to think, is that going to be a remote user? Are some of my remote participants, how many are there? Where are they? Do they have the meeting invite? What's happening when I'm working proximately? Can we just have a meeting that's just seamless regardless of the meeting type? Well, that's what we've done. So I think we've done three things. I'm going to take you through it today. We've got a one-step start system. It's agnostic to whatever comes to the room. So if I'm walking in and I want to have a WebEx meeting, it just all works. And three, it's so seamless and simple to use because it's wireless. And everything I walk in, like a bring your own meeting experience, the room then engages with me in a way that supports my needs, okay? So I'm going to show you that, but first I want to take you through the setup. So all we've done here is taken the traditional Solstice Gen 3 pod and augmented it by plugging in the room audio and room camera system. So we're agnostic to that system. You just plug in a USB-based system to the pod. And that guy's, of course, on the network, and it's plugged into the display. So it's literally that. So through software updates, if you want to get Solstice Conference, you just download it. It doesn't require new hardware outside of what you've been doing for years to have better proximate meetings. You'll notice, you can see some of that agnosticism shining through already because I've got a meeting calendar here with 3 different meetings on the way. The first one's with Zoom. Looks like at about noon, we've got a WebEx meeting, and then we've got a Microsoft Teams meeting. So somebody's already invited this room. I'm going to play meeting host. And why don't we take a look at how it works? So I've got my host laptop. I come into this space. And all I have to do is enter the meeting code on the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and tap my Solstice icon here and type the code. 2454, and then 3 really important things happen. 1, my desktop wirelessly appears on the room display because I want to have a meeting in the room with my team. Jen's here with me, maybe wants to see what's happening in the call. 2, it actually auto-joins me and launches Zoom because it knows that's the codec I'm using today. And hey, Megan, we're here already. Can you see us okay? I'm going to turn on my video, and you'll notice that when I start my video, we are going to use the Logitech Meetup that is plugged it directly into the pod. And hey, Megan, can you see us okay?
Hi.
Awesome.
Yes, I can see you.
That's great. Yeah, cool. I'm going to go ahead and show you some PowerPoint to start. And to do that, I'm going to share my screen like I would do every other time. So you'll notice that when I pick screen share, I'm able to pick the display in the room. Now that's key because what I've done is I've bridged the Solstice experience through the Zoom call to my remote participants. So I'm going to open up my PowerPoint and we'll get our presentation underway. Okay, Megan, can you see that all right?
Yeah, it looks like you're looking at the 30-second block pitch.
Cool, yeah. And I'm going to go through a couple of these slides quick. Of course, that's a normal core user experience, me being able to show PowerPoint. But I've shared the room display, and this is where we have a whole lot of new value. Everything that happens on that room display, remote participants can now see. So Jen, why don't you go ahead and share some content? And while you're doing that, I want to make an important point. Jen is not having to join the Zoom call. She is used to sharing content in a Solstice-enabled room just by opening her app and throwing content on that display. The Zoom call is already underway, so she doesn't have to join a Zoom call to be on audio and video. It's always been a weird thing to me that you have to then join to share content, right? It causes these issues where, hey, do I have the meeting invite? Can you send it over? I want to show my screen. All right, cool. So Jen's shared some content, so we're actually looking at stuff side by side. Can you see that okay, Megan?
Yep.
Awesome.
I see some images, some blueprint images, and architectural pictures too.
Yeah, and so everything that Solstice does, the remote participants are able to see now in a real interesting, exciting way, I think. So what we've done is we've augmented the content channel for your existing soft codecs to be able to have anything you want on screen at any time from any device, moving it in and out of view. And in fact, when I say everything, I mean everything. So you'll remember that Solstice has a inking and markup feature. Okay, so I'm going to jump in on this Android phone and join the East Conference display. And when I do that, I'm able to actually augment what Megan and my team is seeing by pointing with my built-in laser pointer tool, or even augmenting that content freely in the room. So Megan, can you see that okay?
Yeah, looks like you drew a circle around the blueprint.
Yep.
Then drew some lines too.
Yeah.
And now I can circle around the PowerPoint.
Yeah, exactly. So let me make 2 points before we end. One is, if Jen's used to coming into a room and throwing content and having collaborative meetings and has this expectation she can be engaged, she can do that now without having to be the meeting host, just like yesterday when we were having a proximate meeting. So it puts content and the kind of meeting you're having on equal footing now with remote users. 2, just like everything we do, all these events that you just witnessed, what was shared when, how many users are using the system, goes directly into your Solstice Cloud account for analytics. So how exciting is it going to be able to get a view of what are your meeting ratings, or how often are particular codecs being used when it's WebEx versus Teams or Zooms in your spaces. I think that'll help us understand where all this is headed. So pretty exciting. Solstice Conference, the call to action is go to our website and learn a whole lot more. And we'll hear from you soon. Thanks.